This playthrough is rated T for teen.
Alright, time for Kate to find out the truth and perhaps to make her way home and fix everything? Let's find out. Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare here with the finale of Syberia, the world before. The last episode, we found out what happened to Leon, Dana, Lenny's terrible secret, and that we forgave her in our own way, despite the fact of all the things she did was pretty bad. And we could leave. And we do need to leave at some point, but we need to get the one last mystery before we head on out. Yeah, Lenny betrayed everyone just because she was jelly of like Dana and Leon's relationship. Really? She's in a war and that's why she did it? Then again, people betray people for less reasons, so. Alright, let's take a look at this guy and see what we can do. So her chair holds a secret, huh? So we gotta open up this bad boy. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't flip it far enough. Gee, man, Christmas. Now we need a key for this thing. We don't have a key. Okay. Interesting. Alright, let's see if we can look for it. Of course, Dana can't tell us what the answer is. Nope, we gotta figure it out for ourselves. Alright, fine. We'll leave you there. You don't even deserve, because of what you did, you don't even deserve this, you know, this alone time, this moment of clemency. Your actions hurt a lot of people, you know. But I guess forgiveness has to come eventually, otherwise it'll swallow your soul, so, you know. Otherwise you become a hate-filled monger or whatever, so. I don't know. I'm one of those people that can forgive to a point, but the people who created the act in the first place need to have suffered or something. They need to have, because there's some people that are forgiven and not even really, they don't really suffer for it or nothing. Too many stories that happens and you're like, really? We're supposed to be the good people? You know, that the person who actually did the deed can't, you know, get their comeuppance or something. Not like, you know, die or anything like that, but. Anything to say there, dude?
Demoiselle Lenny is resting upstairs.
Yeah, same as before. Alright, fine.
They must have carried Demoiselle Lenny to her room after she collapsed.
Yeah, it's gotta be something here, because the chairs probably have a tie into each other.
They must have carried Demoiselle Lenny to her room after she collapsed.
Alright. What the? Whoa-ho! Ha-hee! There it is. The key. Ah. Neat.
Looks like I can change its shape.
Ooh. I can change it into a 4 formation or something like that. Interesting. Wait, I think it needs... No, wait, never mind. It's the other way around. I believe it needs to go like this. Okay. We don't have anything in our diary for this yet, do we? Colonel Blake seconded my discreet nod from Frau Wagner, confirming me that she had not seen Kate since. So without further delay, I shall return to the refuge in the hope that the worst hasn't come of Kate Walker during this unreasonable jaunt in the middle of a blizzard. Okay. See if there's anything else too. I don't think so. Because we found what we needed, which is that key. Yeah, Leon. Okay. Yeah, let's just go upstairs. Because we already examined everything while we were here. We found what we needed, so. Yeah, the big puzzle here is to basically solve the chair puzzle. Yeah, there's... Actually, let's see if we can go talk to... see if Ludwig will be talked to or anything. We have to swap it.
It's locked.
Yeah, he locked the door. My one weakness. How about Ludwig? Do you have anything to say? He probably went in the room with the locked door. Yep, okay. Never mind, let's get out of here. Fine, we'll solve the puzzle. You happy? never happy. Alright, use the key on this thing. Turn that sucker! Ooh, a heart.
Something important must be hidden behind this lock.
A lock with circles and dots. And now we have to change the key again, so yeah, you have to do it multiple times. Why did they wait till the end of the game to finally be able to do something like that? So, definitely odd on that one, so. Okay. So I think it's that way? Let me double check again. Yeah.
Oh, it won't fit.
Oh, it must be the other way around.
I must display the key properly.
Try that one.
No, it's
What?
not the proper setting of the key.
That should be it, though. Hold on. Yeah, that should be it.
Better try something else. Oh, it won't fit. Looks like I can change its shape.
That's it, though. Okay. Okay, come back. Do that. No, that should be it. Why does it not let me do it?
Something important must be hidden behind this lock.
No, that should be it's the ball up and the thing around. All right. Yeah. What? I don't know why it's not working. Let me do this one. Maybe it's the order of them. If that's it, that's gonna be very annoying. Whatever.
Better try something else.
So we got quite a few things going on here.
Stuck.
There we go. Wait. Yeah, pull this up, get it to stop in the first place. But we have to pull it whenever that's available to get, so. Yeah. Ah, dang it. Oh, come on. Are you serious?
Impossible. It's blocking it.
There we go. I was about to say, where's the other thing? So. There it is. There, pull out the heart. Put Oscar inside.
You should be able to control this body now, Oscar. Let's work together to unlock it and find that letter from Dana.
Okay. Can you talk to Oscar? No.
This lock. I think I need to slide the small moving part nearby in order to unlock it. Maybe I could ask for Oscar's help if I get stuck.
Ah, a new body. Again.
And you can move it up and down. Which, yeah, changes things.
How basic.
Neat. Interesting. So, okay. But anyway. We need to move these both up on him. Okay. let's go back to Kate.
This lock. I think I need to slide the small moving part nearby in order to unlock it. Maybe I could ask for things stuck.
Alright, let's see. Let me go back. There's the key there. And then there's this thing right there. But we need to open that one up, so let's put the key in. So we just need it to be spiked down or whatever. If it's not that one, it's the other one, so.
I should be able to use this.
Alright. His arms look like, they look like horse feet. Anyway. Alright, pull that down.
No. Things stuck. No.
But you can't do anything about it, can you? Wait. Alright, we need to go back to the front.
This lock. I think I need to slide the small moving part nearby in order to unlock it.
Things stuck.
Alright, let's see. I should have moved them. Let's see, those are right there. So. Yeah, those all should be in the right spot. Okay, rotate the parts.
Things stuck. Things stuck.
It shouldn't be. Because everything's moved into space. Maybe I missed a step somewhere. Let's see. We are open up that. Put the key in. Okay. Hold on. Let me. Okay, maybe that's it. That's probably where I messed up on it. Because we need to adjust them.
Things stuck.
Maybe one more time. Yeah, we're supposed to be able to move it. Maybe I need to move it one more time. Or raise them up one more time. Because we're supposed to be able to manipulate that now.
Things stuck.
What? We're supposed to be able to move it now. Let's see. What am I? Let me double check everything just to make sure. But we should be able to manipulate that now.
It won't budge. There must be a way of unblocking it somewhere else on the mechanism.
Impossible.
Oh, I forgot to. Okay, whoops. That's what I forgot to do. I was like, wait a minute. We're supposed to be able to, like, manipulate that. There we go. That's it. Sorry about that, folks.
I can't go that way.
Let me raise up his is it this arm? Alright, keep going, Kate. You can do it. Keep moving. Keep moving. It's almost there. One more time. Yeah.
This lock. I think I need to. That's it. I should be able to remove.
Okay, now we just need to reset back. Because we basically need to get to the other side, so. Oops, I need to back out of that. And then... Alright, then we need to move that one. Alright, so now we're cooking with gas. Yeah, it's really annoying. I'll have to keep moving the mouse. We only have so much movement with our mouses, you know. Our mices. Yeah, there we go.
I think I can turn the crank now.
Turn the crank, crunk. Alright, one more key. We need to just turn it down too. Everything's closed.
The letter.
We've found it! Read it! This will solve all the mysteries, hopefully.
Spring 1983. Dana sent this letter 20 years ago to Lenny.
Oh, this gives you the letter achievement for finding this.
Dana Goengrich, Manhattan. Her name changed. May 21st, 1983. My dear Lenny. Sorry if I haven't written in a long time. Things haven't been easy for me of late.
My husband, William Goengrich, passed away last summer. He was such a remarkable partner and a tremendous support. But as you know, Lenny, there used to be another world for me. The world before. Our world, Lenny. The world of Leon. I've honored my current contracts. But now I feel I need a change.
Roze, she became a pianist like she always wanted to. Contemplate your second life. Don't play those virtual games. You'll get stuck in them. Well, it seems like everything went well for you in New York there, Dana. Guess what? You're still not happy, huh? Just like Kate, I guess. There's her picture. Her arrival into America. A star is born. Her name is Dana Goengrich. Have you ever been down to the cafe concert recently? If you have, then you'll fall in love with the virtuoso music of a rising star. Her name is Dana, and all we know about her is she came to the United States from her hometown in Central Europe in the aftermath of the war. So if you go down to the cafe concert tonight, you'll You're sure for a big surprise, and this musicologist will be thrilled to bits to be the first to lead you to discover pure genius before he's swept away to play at the world's great stages. Or will she? Here, just to give you a sense of what she's done and everything, so. How awesome everything has become. They're recording of her first, I guess, concert. Really? Nothing to examine here? Huh. Just letters and stuff. That's weird. You'd think you would be able to interact with something here. Okay. Fine. I don't need to interact with it. I don't know what you're talking about. I guess all her, you know, gifts for how awesome she is. Alright, check a couple more things, and that's pretty much it for this section. Alright, and then the last thing here. Yeah, it looks like a letter and everything. Daily news, breaking news, doesn't really say anything there, so, okay. Anyway. Crescendo Entertainment. Dear Dana, my thoughts are with you as always during these difficult times. You know I'll always be there through the good times and bad. I do understand your sudden desire to let everything go since dear William's passing. I really do. But I must ask you to give it some time before you throw in the towel. True, you are at the height of your fabulous career, but I sincerely believe there's a new and wonderful chapter yet to be written in your book of life. You're so much in demand, it would be such a pity to disappoint all those fans who adore you, and they really do. I hope you'll take up this new offer that, of course, you have happily increased. It's only normal that the artist who made my labels should receive all my sincere gratitude, not only from the heart, but also from the pocket. I've left the master copy of your latest recordings for you to listen to before it goes to press. This is Dana at her very best, and once you've heard it, I hope you'll realize that such talent cannot possibly just walk away from the public. Yours truly, Raymond Pratt, artistic agent. Yeah, right. Like the art scene would take care of her like that. That's the one false thing about this whole thing. Should be it. Actually, I've seen everything. Maybe I missed something while looking around. Yeah, I already clicked on that one. Maybe there's something I missed, because the phone's supposed to ring after you check everything. Yeah, I already checked that one. Maybe there's an item down here I missed. No? I already checked that. Huh. Alright, let me try again, because, yeah, we've already examined everything. That's it. Oh, there it is. That's the one I missed. William Dana Gungrick. Seemed like a nice fellow. There we go. Okay, I missed one picture. Answer the phone. It's your destiny.
It was a nurse who worked at the maternity ward at Baden Sanatorium before the war, when I spent some time there. She had stumbled upon a letter written by her superior. It was a strange confession written by the chief doctor who was present when I went into labor. She claimed that the child I gave birth to on April 5th, 1938 was alive, that they had seized the opportunity of me falling into a coma to give my daughter Anna to a couple of friends of my parents, the Zimmers. Anna is alive, Lenny. You can imagine, my dear Lenny, that I spent the following weeks searching for my daughter high and low. It wasn't that difficult, even though my daughter's names had been changed. For a while, I just stood there, watching a woman who seemed to be the center of attention. She looked so confident, joyful, and full of life. She was surrounded by charming friends and a couple of old folks who must have been the Zimmers, her adoptive parents. As I was watching my daughter, it appeared clear to me. I was an intruder in the life of Sarah Walker Zimmer.
Mom?
This young woman didn't look like me, and inspired nothing in me either. No emotion, no desire to run to her and take her in my arms. Absolutely nothing. It felt meaningless. I just did what I thought best in such cases. I took a trip into her assumed past, just to make sure there were no regrets.
Yeah, she's gonna do what everyone else did and just ignore this and not tell her. You know, I would be stoked to find out it's some long lost grandmother or whatever, but no. But yeah, we're gonna do the final secondary objective, which is wrong button, is the contemplate what could have been. So, and then you can leave. We'll do that. But yeah, this is the final secondary objective of the game. Shouldn't Kate be being born about right now, or about to be born, or something like that? Wait. Look at the book there, Dana. You can't avoid it. You must contemplate. Ah. So Kate is born by this point, so. Pictures of Kate drawings as a kid, kitty cat. Kate. Hello. Dog. Ooh. Okay, and then check over here. Still walking around like a drunk, Dana. Yeah, they thought they were going to trick you with the whole, oh, the family's dead, the daughter's dead, it can't possibly be alive. It's like, yeah, no, it's a typical misdirection to make you think, oh, it's clearly the obvious, and then ends up being the obvious. Yeah. Oh, well. They tried, but we weren't fooled, were you, viewers? Yeah, there's the tie in there, the book.
Ghost, Dana. That's all you are. Stop haunting these people and leave.
Whatever. It's her decision to make, I guess. But anyway, with that, all the objectives are completed, so you should get the nothing gets past me achievement. So, alright, let's walk out the door and finish this little thing. And spy, of course. The whole what could have beens and have beens and should have beens, but you know, everyone has regrets, and yet even in old age they still do things that are stupid. But that's what it means to be human. Alright, let's get out of here.
I was just about to leave when I heard piano music coming from upstairs. It stopped me in my tracks. Six little notes, pure, crystalline, that crushed my heart with an incredible violence. I climbed the stairs like an automaton, guided by the music of the hymn of Wagen. The music I was so proud to play on the main square of Wagen. I never played it again after that. In a child's bedroom, I saw a little girl learning to play the piano. She was very studious and didn't seem at all surprised to see me there. She must have thought I was just another guest who had lost their way to the bathroom. We hardly spoke. I just showed her how to play. Hands must glide over the keyboard like swans over water. That's what our teachers at Wagen Academy used to say. I hurried out of the house without looking back, and a few days later, I left the United States for the only destination that had any meaning to me. Farewell, my dear Lenny.
Dana.
Well, I will never understand human emotions. I thought you would be happy to have the proof at last that Dana Roze is your ancestor.
I'd totally forgotten that strange old lady who helped me play my piece on Mom's birthday. She was my grandma.
So, what are we going to do now?
I don't know, Oscar. I really don't know. I know I should feel happy to come to the end of this adventure. I found freedom. I kept my promise to Katyusha. And discovered a fascinating part of my mother's past, kept secret until now. But it makes no difference to the guilt I feel over my mom's passing, or the void I feel since her death. Maybe if I had met Dana in person, but that's impossible now. The last trace of Dana I have is this letter, and it's over 20 years old. And besides, Dana implies she left for an unknown destination, like a hiding place, to wait for the end of a life that no longer held any meaning for her. She could be anywhere. That's if she's still alive at all. It would be like looking for a needle in a haystack. So, I don't know, Oscar. I really don't know anymore.
Well, it sounds like Kate suffers from after the adventure's over, she's not sure how to finish this whole thing, so, Yeah, I found out we had a strange old lady. She just happened to block that memory out of her thing, you know. Actually, we've all done that at one point, but still, it seems kind of silly. That creepy old lady popped in. You think you just remember that at some point, but then again, I don't remember everything as a kid myself, so. Alright, let's continue on and finish this thing.
There's only one thing left to do, Oscar. What everyone has been expecting me to do since I jumped on the train with Hans. Just be reasonable and return to New York. There's an end to everything, Oscar. Isn't there?
Alright, one last little thing to do, and one last puzzle for the road in our boarding pass to head back home. Yeah, nothing wrong with going on adventures, Kate. She just kind of abandoned everyone for her adventures. Like, maybe after adventures, she should have gone back to... Actually, the third game didn't really allow her to do that very well, but still. Anyway.
This ticket will take me to the International Airport of Vaughan, and from there, back to New York.
New York, I tell you.
My carriage number.
Alright.
I should find a phone to call Olivia before I take the shuttle. Given all the trouble waiting for me in New York, I'm gonna need all the help I can get.
Yeah, Olivia didn't really help matters. Let's just say that.
I'm not sure if this is the right carriage. I better check the number on the ticket.
One last easy puzzle to solve.
My
Right.
shuttle to the airport is at the platform. No point wandering around the station and getting lost.
Nah, I guess not.
That's my shuttle. Once it's taken me to the airport, I'll just use the ticket for New York that Olivia sent me, and that'll be the end of my voyage.
Well, you gotta have a rest from between adventures at some point. At some point, your adventures gotta stop at least for a hot minute. You know what I mean? Most of them just, if you check them, she's like, this isn't my carriage, so we're not gonna go through all the details on all. We'll just show all them once, just to show them off, but. Yeah, there's one of the two. We'll have to mess with this here in a second. But let's call Olivia first before we do that, so. Maybe she's calmed down a bit after everything. You think she'd be happy to find her friend. And the fact that Kate got the guts to finally call her, but nope. Yeah, I think, like I said, it's a two to tango type of situation. You know, sometimes you have to, you know, it's not just, you know, Kate's fault.
I need to put in a coin to call Olivia.
Yeah, one last hard puzzle. Well, this isn't the last hard puzzle. Let's see if there's any more diary entries at the end there. 2005, dear from Miss Foster. I'm not sure where to begin. I've just come back from the refuge. I wanted to find out what became of Kate Walker after she went there a few days ago in the middle of the night in a blizzard. She went to find out Dana Roze's body was among those of the resistance fires found at the foot of Devil's Pass. I found the place abandoned. No trace of Kate Walker, nor of Lenny the old manager, nor of her mysterious odd-job man. The only one who was there was a Belgian mountaineer, waiting patiently to climb the famous mountain. The mountaineer, he said he saw Kate Walker at the refuge on the evening of the blizzard. She apparently inspected the tent where the bodies of the frozen resistant fires were placed. He didn't know what she was doing there, but said she seemed relieved when she came out. It's reasonable to deduce that Dana Roze wasn't among those bodies. There then followed some strange comings and goings. Kate Walker apparently went to Lenny's room with the strange hermit who acts as the old manageress, his odd job man. They apparently stayed there for hours before he eventually came out, apparently looking distraught. Kate Walker came out later, then left the refuge without saying where she was going, but looked deeply perplexed and disheartened. A few hours later, the mountaineer resolved to go and see Lenny. He found her lying in her bed, lifeless. The poor old woman must have died in her sleep. The mountaineer wanted to call the emergency services, but then the hermit returned to the refuge. Ignoring the mountaineer's protest, he tenderly picked up Lenny's body, then carried her along with the frozen body of the resistance fighter into the mountain. He then disappeared as he carried them into the blizzard. I must admit I'm completely perplexed. Who knows what drama was playing out between Kate Walker, Lenny, and her odd job man during that blizzard. I get the feeling Miss Walker must have uncovered some terrible secret during her short stay in Valgan, a secret that, like an underlying and treacherous illness, had poisoned the region since the 1930s, one whose common denominator seemed to be Dana Roze. But what's the connection with Kate Walker? Why is she taking this whole case so much to heart? It's like there was something personal in it for her. But I may never know, because everyone related to the case is either dead or missing, starting with Kate Walker. I am, as ever, at your service and await your instructions. Respectfully yours, Nick Canton. Well, at least did his job to the end. Yeah, he's focused, man. Could have told a whole story about Nick himself, you know.
Hello?
Olivia? It's me.
What do you want, Kate? Didn't we say everything last time?
You were right, Olivia. I've been chasing moonbeams ever since my mom died. But I found my grandmother.
Your grandmother? But Kate, she died years ago in New York.
No, I mean my real grandmother. Never mind. It's a long story. I'll explain everything when I get back.
Oh, you mean...
Yes, I'm flying back to New York.
That's wonderful, Kate. I better tell Mr. Canton. He's still on your case, you know. The police will probably be waiting for you at the airport, but don't worry. Dan has connections. I'm sure he'll be able to help. Maybe he can persuade Marston and Lorman to drop the charges.
Okay, thanks. That would be a relief. I gotta go. The airport shuttle's about to leave.
Yes, go ahead. We'll meet you at JFK. I'm proud of you, Kate. You've made the right decision.
Olivia?
Yes?
Should we say sorry at the very end? Yeah, sure. Let bygones be bygones.
Listen, I'm truly sorry for everything that's happened since I left New York. It's just that I just had to get away. I needed a change of life, to be free. It was like a calling. And now that I've been following that calling for the past few years, I realize that I'm not the person I thought I was back in New York. I am that strange person who jumps from train to train, a traveler without a destination. Just like that old shaman once called me.
What are you talking about? What shaman?
It doesn't matter now. I guess what really counts is that I have no regrets about being my true self over these past years.
But do you really?
I know, Olivia. I know I've hurt people while going through this journey. My mom, Dan, you. I know that. And I'm so sorry, Olivia, for all the hurt I've caused you personally.
Thank you, Kate. Does me good to hear it. And, well, you know what? I'm starting to like this new Kate.
Listen, I'd better go now, Olivia. I'll call you if I can from the airport once I've got a flight.
Yes, you'd better get going. Take care, Kate.
Okay, you too. Bye now. Talk later.
Well, looks like we're wrapping everything up nicely, it seems like. Let's get our ticket and get over there. So, yeah, we have to run all the way back over here. Yeah, back to this thing. This one's our ticket puncher or whatever. Yeah, one last puzzle. Which really isn't much of a puzzle, so. Okay, so we need to change this. T and M is fine. We just need to change this to 30. Oops. $30.11. What gets it on our ticket, so.
A ticket validator.
And then use our ticket that we got. What does it say? What did it say on this one? Ugh. Just have to do all the creepy stuff with the... Oh, well. Basically leave it where
I'll
it
need
is.
some ink before I can stamp it.
Really? I mean, yeah, that's how that works, but still. Such a weird way to, yeah, punched it and then put in the date there, so. Alright, after that, I don't think there's anything else to interact with, so let me look at this thing, see what it says.
The deportation trains left Vaughan from this station during the Second World War. How many lives did those brown shadow barbarians destroy? Is there any justice for those who were massacred?
That lady looks familiar too, so. Okay, well, anyway. I think that's it. Okay. Let's go to train number 3. And give the man the give the automaton the ticket. And we'll be out of here. Ours is number 3, which is this guy right here.
This is the right carriage, but the door's still shut.
Please present your ticket.
Looks like this mechanism is connected directly to the door.
Weird.
Please remember you must show your stamp ticket before you can board the train.
Yeah. Push it to switch. Pull it down. Eh. Alright, let's enter the side of this thing and get ready to head on home and end this adventure once and for all. Get in, Kate. As far as I'm aware of, there's really not much else to do. We already called everyone, and there's not much really more interactions. So let's leave. Alright, one last thing to do. One last look.
So, is this really the end of the journey?
Yes, Oscar. I'm afraid it really is.
Now, time to take a rest.
This ticket will take me to the international airport of Vaughan, and from there, back to New York. My carriage number...
Okay. There's no reason to look over him again.
Olivia sent me a plane ticket for New York. What if... No, forget it.
You look sad, Kate Walker.
And with this last little interaction, we end the journey of Kate Walker and her whole situation here. So, alright, well, we'll let the rest of the game run and then head on to the credits, and I'll meet you there and give you my thoughts on the game itself. So, alright, see you at the end, viewers. One last hard puzzle. Dang it, game. Yeah. Yeah.
That's all they ever talked about. How they were going to live over there after the war, along with Ludwig and his tribe.
I left the United States for the only destination that had any meaning for me. Farewell, my dear Lenny.
The only destination that had any meaning.
Kate Walker? Is everything all...
I know where she is, Oscar. I know where Dana went after she left America.
The train for the airport is about to depart. All passengers,
come on, Oscar, we gotta go.
Take your seat. Anyone not going to the airport is kindly asked to leave the train immediately.
Mr. Ludwig, what are you doing here?
Going home.
What about Demoiselle Lenny?
Lenny's gone. In her sleep. Too much guilt. Too much sorrow.
Oh.
I took her in the mountain with Leon. They're together now. What about you, Kate Walker?
I'm going back home too, in a way.
And with that, the credits roll. So that's the end of Kate's journey as far as we know it. And thank you, Benoît Sokal, for making all the Syberia games, despite me not liking all of them. I still appreciate the journey and the fact he died before this got completed. So, what can I say about this game? There's a few good things about this game. One is definitely very cinematic, much more than the previous games. They tried doing that in the third game, and it kind of fell off because graphically it was a little weak, but they got to finish off in this game. The music by Ian Zur was very exceptional, set the scenes very well. It was a very atmospheric music, worked to set the tone of the game overall. And obviously, Kate Walker is a bit more fleshed out, a bit more of a story surrounding her family. They had to go somewhere after her finding the mammoths, like more of a journey. And the third one just kind of like seemed like a weird skip from the second and third game. They tried to tie in the whole mammoths and everything with the Yukul tribe, and which I think fell a little flat in that one. This one did a little bit better on trying to tie in the characters of Kate Walker and her family, even though it has nothing to do. The only ties to the previous games was Hans himself via his inventions, which I guess was nice. Overall, if I had to rate this game, I'd rate it a decent point-and-click adventure game. There are some problems I have with it overall, but I think it's a solid entry. I'd probably rate this maybe like a 7 out of 10 type of game. In terms of my favorite in the series, I wouldn't say that. It probably goes Syberia 1, 2, this one, and then 3. So 1, 2, 4, and 3 are my orders of favorites. The reason I don't rate this one higher, despite having a better budget and more cinematic and more of a better feel to it, I feel like this game was more of a visual novel, like more of a kinetic visual novel than a point-and-click adventure game of old. Like in the first game, you solved the puzzles and everything for point A to point B, but you didn't do a lot of annoying stuff in between to get to that point. Like moving the mouse and all this other stuff. And unfortunately, that's a theme of most modern point-and-click adventure games. Is just to have you interact with the game via the mouse by clicking buttons or shifting it around. If you go to point-and-click adventure games, and most of them are find it games where you just click on stuff, find it, and then it's very simple puzzles to get from the next spot to the next. Really not much challenge there, or not much really in the way of difficult puzzles. This one had a couple of interesting puzzles, like with the figuring out the Morse code stuff was kind of interesting. And there's a few other puzzles that kind of come to mind. But overall, a lot of the puzzles, quote unquote, in the game were just busy work. Just, well, not all of them, but there was a lot of them. Which was like, just press this mouse in this way. A lot of them weren't really that difficult, so it's hard to rate this any higher because of that. At least in the first two games, there was general puzzles to solve from getting the one word to the next, and there wasn't a lot of... There were some busy points, and I'm not saying the old games are these perfect point-and-click adventure games, because obviously not a lot of people remember Syberia overall because of how... I wouldn't say it's super obscure, but it's obscure-ish. But this series overall has an interesting, kind of roller coaster of emotions, starting from the beginning game, chasing down Hans, finding him, and then the second game, continuing his journey to find the mammoths, then the low point where you find the Yukuls and try to help them out from this weird military organization, which just kind of gets, after you get thrown into their prison at the end of the third game and then the fourth game, you kind of just get away. And then there's no bring up of them ever again, after that. I don't know. It just seemed like it was a story point they wanted to drop as soon as they could. Because maybe they thought that wasn't the theme of the game or something like that. So that's why the third one's probably the weakest, in my personal opinion. I mean, obviously Kate's journey of finding out more of her lineage seemed to be just by accident. Just because she found out about it in a cave with a bunch of scraps all of a sudden. And then... the random lady that helped her out, she died, and then she's like, I gotta do it for her. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not saying it was weak motivation. I'm just saying it just wasn't really that good push I was looking for. I think we could have cut her out and still had the same game, of journey of Dana and Kate. And, I don't know, like I say, this game is a mixed bag for me. I think it's still a decent adventure, or, well, a decent story. Is the way, but as a point-and-click adventure game, I don't think it's as good. But at least it tried to give us some puzzles. At least there was that. Some point-and-click adventure games, when they do sequels to them, don't even give us that anymore. Or they try to make it too easy because people didn't want to solve puzzles. I'm like, well, then why play a point-and-click adventure game if you didn't want to solve puzzles? I'm not a very good puzzle guy, but I still like puzzles. Then again, I don't want every game to be like Myst, which is insane with the puzzles. But still, you still get your money's worth out of those games. Even the later Myst sequels at least kept trying to do to that. And the one thing I don't like about this game is Kate is more fleshed out. I don't like how she becomes such a sad sack, and she feels so and then because of her going on an adventure, of how everyone, I know realistically this probably would have happened, but I don't know, I just don't like my heroes getting dunked down so hard at I don't know if I call her my hero, but characters that you liked in the first couple of games, and then all of a sudden, oh, they're actually these terrible people, and my god, how dare they go on an adventure for once and do something out of their humdrum lives. But at least at the end of the game, Kate's like, I'm still going on adventures, technically. she'll probably go off and find the Gurren, and if they ever do another game. But if the game ends here, I think it would be a solid ending to the series, finding out a bit more about her family. Maybe she finds out more and finds out about the Gurren, but if the story ends there, then I think we could call that a solid, completion. That at least Benoît Sokal was generally told the story. I think maybe he wanted to tell, but then again, he told the third story many years later, so we don't know if that's what he wanted to say, or if he added that years later, because he only got the 2 stories and then did other things and came back to it with the third one quite a few years ago, and then they came out with this one. But at least he still got to tell his story for the most part. But yeah, I don't think I don't think this game sold super well, if I remember correctly. So I doubt we'll see a 5th game. If we do, I would try it out. But if not, I think we could call this an end. But overall, I think, despite me grumbling about the game, I think I at least enjoyed my experience with it better than the 3rd game. And I think that's all that really matters in the long case. But I don't know. What do you viewers think about the whole series overall? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you even watch all my episodes on that? If not, did you like this game specifically? Yeah, it was definitely a roller coaster, especially when playing the original Syberia games way back in the early 2000s, when I was just finding cheap PC games to play, because I was into either Japanese RPGs or obscure point-and-click adventure games. So I'd buy anything I come across. And I think the first Syberia was only like $10 or $20 when I paid for it. Obviously, this one was a lot more, but not by much. But still, I guess you get what you pay for. So, but I guess that's the end for Syberia. What a roller coaster it was, and it was nice to see Kate Walker get a kind of official end. Although if you beat the 2nd game, you can kind of infer how the game ends, even if it does leave it a bit open. But this kind of gives a bit more definitive end for Kate Walker. So what's it left for her, we'll never know. We can just assume or leave it to our own imaginations. But for me, the Syberia story is over unless the 5th one comes out, and I'm okay with that. So what awaits me next? Who knows? Maybe another point-and-click adventure game, maybe something else. But for this story, we can close the book on Kate Walker's story once and for all, and hopefully she has more adventures, and then maybe finally gets her rest and closes everything out. But we're closing this game out, so thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next game.